Senior Moments, sponsored by the Empowering Seniors Group on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Good morning. This is the Senior Moments Show. I'm your host, Sid Roeder, and my co-host, Bruce Lee, is here with me. Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning.
And today, as we sometimes do, we have a little fun and we do something a little bit different. I'm going to quiz Bruce a little bit about what he does outside of this radio show. And I hope you're ready for this.
It makes me nervous.
But to switch it up, I'm going to actually make you explain this time who our sponsor is, Bruce.
Oh, boy. Honestly, the biggest problem with this is I can't remember the phone number, which I'll do in just a second. But I'll say that we are grateful for our sponsor, which is the Empowering Seniors Group, of which Sid and I are members of this group also, along with several of the people that have been on the radio show before. But this group sponsors this show, allows us to put it on so we can bring information to you, the listeners, regarding educational information or access to professional services in the community in a way that hopefully helps you and allows you to receive this information in a way that you're not solicited and can make decisions on your own about when and how to access these things when it makes sense. And so we're grateful for the group for sponsoring the show. And if you have suggestions for our show, then you can call Sid at this number.
Yeah, the number is 435-512-6406. And also, if you'd like to learn more about the Empowering Seniors Group, you can do so online at empoweringseniors.info. Or you can email us at empoweringseniors.cv@gmail.com, and the CV stands for Cache Valley.
So you could do this by yourself, and I need a co-host.
You're so funny. Well, let's talk a little bit about Bruce. Bruce, tell our listeners how you have become what you are now.
Wow, that is... If you're listening to the show today and heard that question, you probably are thinking, that's a big one. I'll give you a little bit of background that I'm not sure I have shared on the show before. I'm not from this area originally, but I have lived here since 1988. So if that gives anybody an idea about my age, I'm over 20.
Well, and our listeners for sure now want to know where you came from.
I came from Maine, so not as far east as you in Germany, but I am from Maine. I grew up there. I had not been west of New Hampshire until I was late in my teens and moved to Utah and got married later on in 1989. And so went to Utah State, which is a great school. I loved it up there. Love it still. We support the Utah State Athletics program and go to the sporting events. It's a lot of fun. And we've lived here in this area since 1990 when we first moved up here. And other than a couple of years where we lived down in the Layton area and worked in Salt Lake, we've been up in Cache Valley.
Okay, and let's talk a little bit about your professional life. So you studied up at USU and graduated with?
Actually, I have a degree in marketing. And then I later went back and did my graduate work and got my MBA. But I'll tell you a funny story about my marketing degree. And this is a youth thing, so try not to judge me too much. But I remember I'm the only college graduate in my family. And so I was at school and I'm looking at – I knew I wanted to be in the business program and I really, really enjoyed it. And I've got the catalog open. And I'm trying to decide, which degree should I pick? And so you'd think there'd be some kind of an epiphany and say, oh, this is the way that you should go. Well, what I did was counted the number of credit hours it would take to get to get degreed. And the one that was fastest was marketing. And so I don't know if that's still the case. And I actually learned a lot in that program. It was a great experience, and I learned a lot about business. But marketing required the fewest credit hours to get my business bachelor's degree. And so you can hopefully not, again, judge me too much. I've learned some things since then, but that was my mindset at the time. And when I actually, as far as getting my graduate work done, when I was sitting in commencement and going through the process of receiving my diploma and that, it just felt like such a big deal to me. And I remember sitting in the spectrum and thinking, gosh, I need to go back and get my master's degree. That's something I want to accomplish. And when I turned 40, I thought, well, are you going to do it? And so I went back and applied and went back to school at that time and did a weekend program at USU, which was an awesome program. I really enjoyed it. I met some really, really neat people up there, many of whom I still have contact with, and did my graduate work. And so it was a great experience. And I do love USU. Awesome place.
Right. But since then, you've done a few different things. Do you want to touch those, or do you want to jump straight to what you do right now?
Well, I'll say this. I'm grateful for all the different things that I've done throughout my professional life. And as with any opportunity that you have, there's good times and bad times in any job, and there's things that you learn. And it's interesting to me now, as I think everybody knows, I have a home care company. It's interesting to me now how all of the things in my professional training have come together and helped me in what I'm doing now, whether it's operational or financial or just kind of all of it to help me run the company. But the difference with what I'm doing now versus anything I had done in the past is I really feel drawn to this industry and to the service of it, and I feel compelled to to help. And so I didn't realize when I was younger that was something that I needed to do. That for me, that was something that was important and would more fulfill me. I think like a lot of young people, I thought, well, gee, I'm going to get I want to get my degree, I want to go to work, and we want to make money, and then, I don't know, buy a boat, I don't know, whatever people do. But what I've discovered is, for fulfillment, quality of life, for me, I have to do something that serves. And when I do that, it just feels good, and my life is happier and more complete. And that's like a different form of pay for me to be able to go in and sit with people and help them through difficult times and provide solutions to them and their families that really make their lives better. And so I love that part of what I'm doing now.
Yeah, I think that's really what connected you and I too, because I feel the same way about my life and my professional choices is serving people and enhancing their lives with service and product that I can deliver. So I appreciate that. Well, we're already coming up on our first break. When we get back, we'll talk a little bit more about ComForCare. So let me just mention our sponsor, which both Bruce and I are a member of, again, the Empowering Seniors Group. If you'd like to learn more about the Empowering Seniors Group, you can do so online at empoweringseniors.info. Or you can email us at empoweringseniorscv@gmail.com, and the CV stands for Cache Valley. And lastly, if you'd like to make any suggestions for this show, you can call me personally at 435-512-6406. We're going to take a little break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know 10,000 baby boomers qualify for Medicare every day? Did you know that you'll start to get swamped with mail about Medicare 6 months before your 65th birthday? Did you also know it doesn't cost anything to use an insurance agent to help you navigate through all those offers? Hi, I'm Tracy Ferris with Blue Water Health Insurance. Let me help you understand all the offers you're receiving and find the plan that fits best for your situation. Call me today at 435-890-8155.
Hi, this is Bruce with ComForCare. One of the ways we help loved ones stay in their home is by assisting with daily tasks. These may include bathing, meal preparation, medication reminders, and housekeeping. We even help with shopping, transportation, and errands. Most of all, we offer a trusted level of care. Let us help you live your best life possible with ComForCare. This is Bruce, and you can call me at 754-7676. ComForCare, 754-7676.
Reed's Pharmacy in Hiram offers free delivery service 5 days a week. Monday through Friday throughout the valley. Just stay home and they will deliver to you. With 25 different suppliers, they won't have the shortage that others might have. Also, with compounding and many other services, they will be able to serve all your needs. In order to stay safe and help slow the spread, please call Reed's Pharmacy in Hiram at 245-DRUG, and they will take care of you.
This is Brian Erickson for the Sunshine Minute. Each day, our nurses, CNAs, cooks and servers, housekeepers, laundry staff, music, recreation therapy teams, office staff, receptionists, and many more arrive around the clock. These heroes show up ready and willing to serve and protect our residents and clients. We are so grateful to our dedicated team. On behalf of the Board of Sunshine Terrace Foundation and our community, thank you to all of our employees for keeping us safe. We bring more to life together.
Welcome back. This is the Senior Moment Show. I'm your host, Sid Roeder, visiting today with my co-host, Bruce Lee. Welcome back, Bruce.
I was always here, but thank you.
Stop it. Well, we in the last segment, we talked a little bit about your education, your path, how you came to be the owner of ComForCare here in Logan. And I'd like to dive a little bit deeper into that because we all understood, if you listen to the first segment, you're very service-driven and anything you do has to provide a good quality service to your clients. So let's talk a little bit about ComForCare. How long have you been in that business?
Well, we opened in February of 2016. ComForCare is a franchise, and so it started in the beautiful city of Detroit, Michigan, in the late 90s. And I think they started a franchise in the early 2000s. It was interesting as I went through the process of looking at different franchises, because there are many out there, that most of them, or many of them, are headquartered in places like Phoenix, and which would be a great place to be headquartered for me, because I would rather go to Phoenix than Detroit. But what happened was I found out about ComForCare, and ComForCare's tagline is "Live Your Best Life Possible," which is a value that I really believe in, and I felt like that was a more value-based organization. And I was still learning a lot about myself and what I wanted to do or how I wanted to do it, but I knew that I wanted to have something that was value-driven, and I felt like that was the organization to go with. And the idea of living your best life possible, I feel like, is something that, as an organization, our organization here, we're wholly owned here, so I own it and I'm completely responsible. But as an organization, we could really work to make sure that we were helping our clients to live their best life possible, that we can help our caregivers to live their best lives possible, and that we really could work to develop people and help in lots of areas. And so that's been a great experience.
That's fantastic. So let's maybe dive a little bit into the difference, because I know from listeners talking to me about assisted living and independent living, there's a lot of misunderstandings there. So maybe let's dive into the definition of what a home care service is versus some of the other ones.
I would say a home care service is one option that you have as you're looking at what to do when you start to need help. And there are lots of great organizations out there that provide services like mine, or services that are other options, including skilled nursing care and assisted living, like you mentioned. There's home health services, there's hospice services, and some of them compete and some of them are complementary. Our service is generally complementary, typically with other services. It's probably most closely related to home health services and hospice services. Home health services are services that require a doctor's order and there's some type of a skilled need. So, for example, a simple way to think of that might be if you have wound care or something like that. So a bandage needs to be changed and a wound needs to be looked at. That's a skilled nursing care requirement. Or if you've had surgery and you've been discharged from the hospital, it's not unusual for a doctor to write an order for a home health company to come in for, it's usually 4 to 8 weeks. Sometimes it could be a little longer than that, to to provide, maybe some bathing services and some other home services. Those services are services that we also do, but the difference is most people like the home health better because their insurance is probably going to pay for that. Our service is a private pay solution, so we fill the gaps of where an insurance-based service won't pay. And as anybody who's worked with insurance companies knows, they don't want to pay any more than they have to. And so once the need has been completed, then as far as the insurance company is concerned, then they will no longer pay. So, but if the family feels like there's an additional need, then we're the solution for that. Or a hospice solution, which is a little different. They offer some of the similar things, like maybe a bathing or helping with some different things like that. But they typically will come in just a couple times a week, where we might be able to come in every day. So we often get referrals from companies like that for things like that.
So, just for our listener to understand, isn't kind of the beauty of it that you can mix and match as much as you like? Because even if you get something prescribed by your doctor as a need for a certain amount of time, you could add on to that by hiring you to.
It's kind of a custom thing with families. It just depends because let's say a doctor prescribes home health. We use that solution. So maybe the home health is allowed to come in 3 times a week, and maybe they're going to provide a bath once a week or something like that. But if the family feels like that's not enough, then we'll get a referral probably in that instance to come and fill the gaps. Or maybe the restrictions on what the home health company can do a little more stringent. For us, because we're a private pay, we can do anything within the scope of our license, which is pretty broad. So we can do transportation, we cook, we clean, we take the garbage out. We can do lots of things to help people to be in their home and be safe. Those aren't things that a home health is going to do, and those aren't things typically that a hospice will do. So when those types of needs happen, a good example, for example, is something simple might be as someone's living at home and they have difficulty doing their laundry because the laundry basket becomes too heavy and they can't lift it into the washing machine. Those are things that can happen. They might need just a little bit of help with something like that. And so we're a service that can come in and help them to do that. It's a lot less expensive for us to come in and help with services like that than to pack your stuff and move to an assisted living facility. That might be something you want to do in the future, but it might not be something you want to do now.
So what typically triggers a phone call to you, Bruce?
Wow. That's a broad question. There are so many different things that happen with people throughout the aging process. It's usually something. Most often it's probably just the normal course of aging, where people are just diminishing in their ability to do different things. As we age, our bodies get weaker, and there's some things that we can't do, or it hurts to do it. But if there's anything that I would say is a quick trigger, it would probably be a fall. Falls are game changers. If you have a fall, anybody who's been through that experience, you can be perfectly fine. You're completely independent, and you have a fall, and all of a sudden, that's it. You may not go back to your house, and so those things can be scary. And so we have a program also. We can come in and kind of look at your home and look for fall risks to help you identify them, to help eliminate them. We don't charge for that either.
Yeah. Let's talk about that home assessment a little bit after the break that we're coming up on. But I wanted to give you a chance too, Bruce, if any of our listeners are interested in communicating with you because they have an aging parent and see, if you might be a good fit, maybe you can share your location and your phone number.
Yeah, we never charge for a consultation, and typically those are done in your home. If that's something that someone would be interested in, then our phone number is 435-754-7676, and that just gets our office, and they basically just schedule me and I show up.
Thank you, Bruce. This is the Senior Moment Show. We'll take a little break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's tough knowing how to care for an aging parent. Mom has always been there for me, but now I need to be there for her. When we found out she needed surgery, I wondered how I could attend to her needs and still be mom to my kids. I was so relieved to learn about transitional rehab at Maple Springs in North Logan. From the nurses to the physical therapists, it was like their whole staff was focused on helping Mom get better. Maple Springs in North Logan was an answer to my prayers.
Learn more at maplespringsnorthlogan.com or call 753-9400.
Want an inexperienced surgeon?
Okay, nurse, I'm ready for the scalpel.
How about an inexperienced airline pilot?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain, and I'm terrified.
Experience matters, and we have it.
Hi, this is Sid Roeder with Achievement Realty. I am a senior real estate specialist. I'd love to meet with you face-to-face and give you a free consultation and market analysis. Call me today at 512-6406. Then list it, sell it, and move on.
Did you know that one of the greatest threats to our quality of life is a fall? 1/3 of Americans 65 and older, and 1/2 of those over 80 will fall this year. Many will never be the same again, and some will never return to their homes. This is Bruce at ComForCare. One of the ways we can help people stay in their home is through our free in-home fall protection survey. Let us help you identify these fall risks. Call us at 754-7676. ComForCare, 754-7676.
This is Mark Thurston with White Pine Funeral Services. The best time to plan is when you have time to plan. Having a prearranged funeral gives peace of mind for everyone involved. White Pine will customize your final wishes to fit your needs, from a traditional burial to cremation to a custom headstone. White Pine also accepts prearranged plans from other mortuaries, and we will absorb any transfer or revocation fees. No penalty to you. Visit whitepinefunerals.com or come and see us for more information.
White Pine Funeral Services, here when you need us most.
Welcome back. This is the Senior Moments Show. I'm your host, Sid Roeder, talking today with Bruce Lee, who is my co-host. Welcome back, Bruce.
Thank you for having me back.
We talked a little bit about how you came about owning a home care service here in Logan, and mentioned some of the services you do. And I did promise to come back in with a home assessment that you do, because sometimes I feel that the family members aren't really sure if the senior can still stay in the home. So how does that work?
Yeah, this kind of goes along with what we try to do with the Empowering Seniors Group. Accessing some of these things can be a little scary because people think that they're going to get solicited. We offer a home assessment, which we don't charge for, and essentially it's just kind of a walkthrough to look to see, are there things in your home that might increase the risk of a fall. And why you would care about that is for what I said right before the break. Really, if there is something that can take a generally healthy person and change their life in a significant way for a period of time, or maybe for the rest of their life, a fall can really do that and does do that. And if you look at, just Google falls of the elderly and just look at the research, and I'm not going to go through it here, but then there's just significant things that can happen in those events. And so there are some things that you can do and look for in the home that we can see that you might not see to help you to identify those things.
So do you also then make recommendation, like, for example, attaching handlebars in the bathrooms and things like that? Do you do that?
Yep. There might be some recommendations that way. A lot of times the easiest thing to see are probably the thing I see right away when I walk into a home is a throw rug. If you have had your throw rug down for 40 years and you love that thing and it's been just fine for 40 years, it might be time to get rid of it. You don't tend to see it until you catch your foot on it, and you're not going to. It doesn't matter if you've walked over it 10,000 times. If the 10,001st time you catch your foot on that thing and over you go, and that is a real risk for people as their gait changes and they're moving around their house a little differently. And having one in front of the top of your stairs is my favorite. Yeah, don't do that. That's a bad plan.
I can only imagine that. Yeah. So let's maybe in the past we've talked a little bit about, other than the fall, some other causes that might get family members to give you a call. And one of them is caregiver burnout.
Yeah. If you're a caregiver, and that means if you are helping somebody, just know that that is a very difficult job and can burn you out. And there's, again, lots of studies on that. We happen to live in an area where people have a pretty deep sense of responsibility, I think. There's a pioneer spirit in the West, and people just kind of feel like they need to suck it up and handle their responsibility, and that's not a bad thing. That makes for a great place to live and a great community. However, there's some downsides to that. If someone is trying to provide care for someone that they care about deeply and they burn themselves out, what can often happen is that care, the level of care that they're actually able to provide, just isn't there. You're just not physically capable of it. You're not emotionally and mentally capable of it. You need to get a break. And whether that's a company like ours or some other solution, I would very much recommend that you get some time where you get to get away from that and recharge so that you can be the caregiver you want to be. Because if you just grind that out, which I promise you nobody can do. I don't care how compassionate you are, how wonderful you are, how many people you've served in the past. You cannot grind that out without doing damage to yourself and probably the relationship and the situation. So you got to be able to get away. Our service can help with that. We're not the only solution for things like that. But again, in a consultation, we would sit and talk about ways to maybe accomplish some of those things.
So I've got a question for you that comes out of personal, fresh experience. And I'm wondering if you have any tips, though, how the children, when they're taking care of their senior parents, can convince their parents that they do need to accept some outside help, because I'm dealing with that currently.
Boy,
too.
I'll tell you, that is a common thing. And one of the things that I think people could recognize is as you get older, that you don't necessarily all of a sudden get to the point where you're like, yeah, I'd love to come have somebody bathe me. That'd be great. And so right now, the idea of somebody coming to do that for me is not an attractive idea, and it doesn't really change. I would suggest that really start small. Have somebody come in for an hour or two, see how it feels, get used to it. Generally, that experience is pretty good, and people are. It's easier to get over the hump. There's not a magic solution to just get over that hump. It takes some time and experience, and hopefully a little compassion.
I think that's some valuable advice. Maybe we need to just get somebody in there for half an hour and read a fairy tale or something. I don't know. Thanks for that, Bruce. Again, we're at the end of our show already, so I wanted to give you one more chance to mention your phone number.
Sure. Our office is in North Logan. We serve the Cache Valley area, Box Elder. We also have an office down in Salt Lake and Cottonwood Heights and serve that area down there. If you're interested in talking with us, the number is 435-754-7676, and really how it works is you just call and talk to my staff, and they'll just put you on the schedule if you have questions, or they can just answer your questions too.
Thank you, Bruce. We're at the end of our show. It was fun to talk to you and learn about ComForCare. This is the Senior Moments Show. We hope you tune in again next week.